last video, I did a review or a first impressions or whatever you want to call it about this Fujifilm X-A7. And I feel like I was a little harsh on what is essentially a pretty good camera. So I kind of want to just quickly double back on this thing and give it another quick look, maybe compare it to something else that is more suited to someone like me as opposed to this particular camera, and then talk about why I had such a, I don't want to call it a knee-jerk reaction because I think I was pretty fair with this camera, but I think I wrote it off a little too quickly, and I'm going to tell you why I think that. Just kind of skipping right to the end here, I don't think that the X-A7 is meant for someone like me. Now, the older X-A cameras, usually I have one close by, but I don't. But the older X-A cameras, I would say from the X-A3 backwards, those were good enough controls-wise to appeal to people who already know how to use cameras. And I think that to use them as a second body or something like that, if you're a professional photographer or a semi-professional or a enthusiastic amateur, they were great second bodies. And I still feel like this would fill that role, but it's definitely not as satisfying to use as some other X-series cameras for people that already know how to use cameras. And I'm going to say that a few times in this video because that's what this X-A7 is. It's a camera for people who don't know how to use cameras. And for me, that's a bad thing. But I think in general, and for the general public, it's actually a really good thing. And there's a couple of reasons why I think that. One, this is going to give you immensely superior image quality to a smartphone. Smartphones are getting very, very good. The latest iPhone is incredible. Android phones are phenomenal. And I think that they've come a long way, but you just can't match something with an interchangeable lens and a big sensor. Computational photography can only take you so far. At some point, that's going to make its way into a camera like this X-A7, or some higher end cameras are going to end up with smartphone level computational photography on top of large sensors and interchangeable lenses. That is going to be game changing. And a global shutter, I mean, that's a whole nother topic for another video, but it's going to be pretty revolutionary. There's some big stuff coming down the pipe in the world of cameras and photography and videography. But yeah, this camera's not for me. This is for somebody who wants to step up from their phone, and that's fine. If you are somebody who is looking to switch from maybe a DSLR system or another camera system, somebody who's already familiar with photography or videography, maybe this isn't the right way to go. I would argue that it's actually not the right way to go. I would lean towards something like this Fujifilm X-T20. They don't make this camera anymore, so you can actually find them for a pretty good price on the used market. They're still great cameras. I use my X-T20 all the time. It is my take it everywhere, beat the crap out of it camera that I don't really care. Well, I care, but like I'm a little bit rough with it. Kind of like my other X-A cameras, like my X-A10. I literally have that with me everywhere. Well, not literally everywhere. Like it's not in the washroom with me. Well, sometimes it is. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. So those, like I said, those older cameras, they were more photographer based, where this is aiming squarely at the smartphone photographer. This big screen, the native 16:9 aspect ratio of it is smartphone sized. The touch interface is really quite good. The look of it is a little more sleek, a little more modern compared to some of their X-series cameras. I get it. And it took me, I think, using it for another week or so after I did that review to sort of understand exactly what this camera is and who it's for. And like I said, it's just not for me. But I still think that there is a place for cameras like this in the market. And I think that it's an important piece of the camera market, that entry-level market that's not intimidating for somebody who's never used a proper camera before to jump into the world of photography that's not on a phone. This is an excellent, excellent place to start. I'm not sure where I finished off there. I got interrupted by this guy. But basically what I'm trying to say is that I think that when it comes to entry-level cameras, they tend to get kind of skewered when it comes to review time, whether it's through YouTube channels like this or photography blogs or whatever, like even proper photography publications. And you sort of have to take them for what they are and maybe not be so rough on products like this that are definitely trying to expand the world of photography to people who have never owned a camera before. And I think that that is an excellent, excellent thing. So yeah, the X-A7, I think I was a little rough on it, and maybe didn't realize that the market they were going for is definitely not me, which is fine. There's lots of cameras out there for me. As a matter of fact, I own way too many cameras already. So that being said, the older X-A cameras I still feel are better if you are an experienced photographer. These newer ones, the X-A5 and this X-A7, I think that if you're looking to make the jump from smartphone to a proper camera, and you know what, a smartphone is a proper camera. It's a camera, it takes pictures, but something that will give you a little more versatility with interchangeable lenses and a big sensor and all the good stuff that comes along with those things. This X-A7 is just a fantastic place to start. And me and Mr. Obi-Wan here are gonna go watch The Mandalorian. Are you guys watching The Mandalorian on Disney Plus? It is amazing. So we're gonna go watch episode 2 for about the 4th time, and we'll see you guys in the next video.